Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. So, today, again, is February 6th, 2023. Currently 3:14 p.m. So, let's get started. Hello, hola, konnichiwa, ni hao, assalamu alaikum. And best of all, I say welcome back to my super short show. This is Nameless Fame, and I'm your host, Carolyn Pompless, also known as Z Cat Yellow. So, what is the message for you all today? So, what is the message that I have for you all today? We're gonna go ahead and continue. Continue or on slavery, right? The series called How Slavery Stole My Parents. There is a psychologist or psychiatrist that monitors me all the time. You know, he diagnosed himself, or he has narcissistic traits or whatever. But anyway, he's not even in the US. He's somewhere, I think he's in Russia or some shit like that. But he listens to my channel all the time. But anyway, his rebuttal is there is no excuse for abuse. And I agree with that 100%. So I do agree with that 100%. However, you cannot use, there's no excuse for abuse when abuse or a pattern of abuse keeps popping up in a certain culture or a certain race. You cannot just dismiss it and say, oh, you can't blame someone's bad character on their past. So again, I did use references, which is the book that I was reading, which is, It Didn't Start With You, and how inherited family trauma shapes who we are today and how to end a cycle. So yeah, I did use references, of course, and this is not from thin air. So yeah, there will be a lot of people who try to dismiss the idea of that a pattern of misbehavior, a pattern of psychological mental illness is the cause or has been caused by slavery, and they'll just go ahead and dismiss it and say, no, there's no way, they're just, uncivilized and blah, blah, blah. So, like I said before, all these patterns of black people having self-hate, all these patterns of black people always in survival mode, having black people always competing with one another, and some people may say, okay, that's human nature, but it's just again, it's all learned behavior. He didn't even point that out. He didn't even try to dissect the overall message that I was trying to deliver. He just basically said there's no excuse for abuse, and you could have said, it's the devil in them, it's demons that possess them, that cause them to act uncivilized. And honestly, you can go ahead and try to confuse your audiences all you want, but there's no confusion here. I do agree there's no excuse for abuse. However, there are psychological damages or trauma that does alter the brain on how it operates, and with the fight and flight, with the, survival, and it's a lot. You are a psychologist, you are a psychiatrist, you know better than I do. So try not to, again, throw the past under the rug, because, again, not addressing the root issue is the reason why we're going to repeat the cycle. And yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. What else I wanted to mention? I wanted to mention, a story where I had a conversation with my father, back to whitewashing, okay? So anyway, a story where I remember I was talking to my father, and I told him, look, if you had the opportunity to travel anywhere in the world, where would you go, right? And then he's like, I'll probably like go to Paris or something. And I was just like, really, Dad? Really? Just Paris? Like, that's so played out. Anyway, I'm like, all right, Dad, so what about Africa? You don't want to go to Africa? And he was just like, I never actually thought about it. And I was just like, yeah, you never actually thought about it. So, again, it may be a bad example, but, it's one of the examples that I'm going to use today of whitewashing. Again, it's just like baffles me that people of color do not even think about going back to the homeland. And I don't know why. I guess I'm different, but I've always had the desire and the dream to go to Africa. Like, I've always, when I tell you, even if somebody would say, go back to Africa, I wouldn't even take that as an insult. I really wouldn't, because of the amount of knowledge that I know, that Africa is like, has so much resources, and yeah, I wouldn't even take that as an insult. So anyway, thankfully for me, I was able to go to Africa not once but twice within 1 year, and I had no idea about manifestation and how to manifest and all that stuff, but I was definitely manifesting what I truly desired, which was going to Africa. Well, I wanted to go to Egypt, but that didn't quite work out. But anyway, but yeah, so I was able to go to Africa twice in 1 year, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And yeah, I could see a lot about whitewashing there. When I was in South Africa, a lot of the people there, it's a lot. It's just a lot. But anyway, I'm just gonna stick to one point of, my father not having the desire to go to Africa, and I'm gonna assume why he didn't want to go to Africa. Maybe because of the whole, brainwashing that Africa is full of AIDS, Africa is full of, diseases and uncurable things, and you gotta have like 10,000 shots before you go, and all of these nonsense. And I'm like, do you know how many white people go to Africa on a daily, yearly basis? Like, they have no problem going to Africa. Why would you not want to go? So anyway, so yeah, so for my daughter's first birthday, I decided to take her, my mother, my grandmother, to Paris and London, okay? And why did I do that? I did that because I wanted to show, I don't know, it was just an inner thing. It was like my inner thing, like, okay, based off of my history, we know that, we were colonized by the French, the European, and et cetera, et cetera. So that was my way of showing, like, look who made it, like, look who conquered, like, look how far we have gotten, and look how we're able to come and go as we please. Like, look who survived. You understand what I'm saying? That was my way of, like, sticking it to the man, or like saying, well, there you have it, there you have it. Here we are. And the following year, I wanted to take her to Africa. Yeah. Not just me, but like my whole, mom and grandmother, and so 4 generations. I wanted to take 4 generations to Africa. My parents, nor have my grandmother been to Africa. They've been, to where have they been? They've been to Canada, the U.S., Guadeloupe. They've been to Puerto Rico. I mean, like, they travel. They've been to Mexico. They've been everywhere, but they have not been to Africa. So I was kind of like, this is gonna be my gift to them, basically. So anyway, however, unfortunately, COVID happened, and I was unable to fulfill that dream of mine to take 4 generations to Africa. I was thinking about South Africa or Morocco. Those are the 2 countries that I've been to, and they didn't require much, like shots or whatever, or visa, things of that nature. So that was the plan. And then the following year, for her 3rd birthday, I was thinking Panama, because I've never been to South America. So again, there's this like deep desire to just like, go to places that once was a destination for my ancestors as cargo. And now, as a free, quote unquote, unslaved, I was like, okay, well, we might as well go there to see, what, to see what's there and experience it as a free person, So that was pretty nice. Where else? So yeah. So that was yep. So that's all I wanted to share with you all. Yeah, I mean, I just wish more people were like me. And yeah, I just wish more people were like me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with who I am and my deep desires. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I was white, I would say, well, based off my heritage, I'm Irish. I would want my children to go to Ireland. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, when black people feel that way about their own, it's shunned upon. It's frowned upon. It's shunned upon. It's laughable. It's just like, why? I don't understand it. I really don't. And people want to take that away from you, and I honestly don't know why. Again, I don't know why, because everyone's different. Everyone has different, desires and things of that nature. But the way I operate is the way I operate, and I don't feel like it should be looked down upon. Not at all. Not at all. I love myself. I love my culture, and I'm very, what do you call that? Strong-minded of who I am and what I represent. So it's like, yeah, I just wish more people was like myself. Not too easy to be manipulated, not too easy to program self-hate. Like, You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I was at that point though. Definitely, I was definitely at that point. But yeah, now I am awakened. I'm awakened, Lord Jesus Christ. Oh Lord. But anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Definitely want to go to Brazil. Shout out to my Brazilians out there. Definitely gonna go there someday, okay? Because Brazil imported more slave than the U.S. Yes, yes. Brazil imported more slaves or enslaves than the U.S., y'all. So definitely want to check that out. And where else? Yep, that's about it. That's about it. Um, yeah, so again, like I said before, February is Black History Month, so I'm gonna talk about all my black experience, my Haitian American experience, my overall, this lifetime